Good morning to all. Welcome to the webinar of Public Relations Society Delhi under the knowledge sharing series. Today's webinar is different from many ways. One of them is that the webinar is more a highly motivational talk than anything else, and the hero is none other than from our own team from the PR domain. In the process of flow of activity, as the moderator of the webinar, that is journey from fear to facts, myths to truths, and coping with life-threatening diseases. I will try to ensure that the flow of activity is managed within the mandated time of hour plus 5-10 minutes here and there, and guest gets the most of the time to speak and interact, which is our policy and philosophy at PRSD. As such, it shall have a dedicated conversation between Dr. Krishna and our hero come cancer warrior, Raman. Our esteemed speakers are Dr. Abhishek Krishna, a true professional radiation oncologist by profession, and Ramendra Kumar is an inspirational speaker himself, cancer warrior, award-winning writer, performance storyteller, and he knows how to fight with humor the tumor. That's the beauty. Veteran PR professionals, above all, he is our pride. We feel honored to know that Raman has raised bar for PR professionals to perform when he was in service and beyond too. And he knows how to fight the corporate wars as well as a real war threatening life. Further, their Ramendra Kumar's nomination for one of the kind of competitions, Bravery Award, Cancer Warrior Award, and Shining Ray Awards, and there are so many. That brings us a proud associates with him. Uh, I would like to introduce Dr. Abhishek Krishna, MD, DNB, is a radiation oncologist at Kasturba Medical College Hospital, Mangalore, with expertise in advanced cancer treatment technologies and a special focus on breast, gastrointestinal, and head and neck cancer, as well as cancer economics, which is a new term to me, and Dr. Saw will dwell on that. I have already mentioned that Raman is a cancer warrior who incredibly brave fight with disease has become a source of inspiration for many. But when we were trying to building the context of today's talk, when we were trying to do a talk on this subject, we have done multiple talks on medical side, be it heart, be it COVID, during COVID, post-COVID. We had many talk with one better than the another professional, etc. But then everybody was saying now we would like to have a talk on life-threatening diseases and we should look for a warrior. And many people were giving me many names. Somebody said कि I will arrange क्या है Manisha Corella. I said okay. Then somebody gave me a name Yuvraj. वो कौन सा है उनकी फाउंडेशन है You We Can and something like that. Many names. They say I will bring. मैंने कहा नहीं यार आदमी ऐसा होना चाहिए जिससे हम बात करें तो अपनापन लगे आर्टिफिशियलनेस उसमें नहीं होनी चाहिए सो एक प्रोग्राम था ह्यूमंस ऑफ बॉम्बे where Raman was introduced. So then मैंने फिर उनसे बात करी मैंने कहा यार why don't we have a talk with you and अपना ऐसा लगता है कि that we are talking at home. Welcome Rama madam. So that is the context we have Raman today here. And then I was also talking to Raman कि I do not want कि हम बात करें, आप कह के चले जाओ और बाद में कोई लोग बोले यार इसकी मेडिकल वैलिडिटी क्या है, दैट आई देन आई सेड कि वी शुड स्पीक इन द प्रेजेंस ऑफ ए डॉक्टर, and that too doctor of that domain. He appreciates because we are PR people. लोग ये भी ना कहेंगे एक PR ही create कर रहे हैं or something like that. लोगों ने कहा भी है. There are some warriors who have talked many theories here and there, and after the webinar of the talk or press conference, people started criticizing them. So I said कि हम एक balance लेके चलेंगे, जो कह रहा है उसकी endorsement भी है. So that is the policy and philosophy on which we are talking. As I have mentioned that we will have a very least interaction, we will give full time to our speakers, and both the speakers are professionally reckoned with. And I have many people know more about Raman, but something I personally feel that he is a you will he what he you will find him always dancing. So I feel he loves more levitation than gravitation, right? You will always find him. So like that there are many things he will dwell, और कुछ रह जाएंगी तो हम उसको छेड़ देंगे. So now I think with all humility we will switch over to Dr. Saab, and the mandate is Dr. Saab will give a formal presentation, and we should have least disturbance. And after that, it will be only between Raman and Dr. Saab, and we will be listening and enjoying and preparing our notes for taking home back. Over to Dr. Saab.
Yeah, thank you so much. I will just start my screen. Yeah, I think the screen is visible, sir.
Perfectly okay.
Okay, take it. So at the outset, we would like to thank Public Relations Society Delhi for organizing this talk, because I have been known sir from some time, some few months. So one day sir had called me that such a program is being organized. So will you be part of it? So I definitely, I didn't even ask what is it, or what is the thing. I first told okay. Then later after 2-3 weeks, he called and told me what is the structure and everything. So today my part is very minimal. So initially, briefly, I'll be talking only on certain myths that is there. I'm not going too detail in about anything. The common myths and truths that are there about life-threatening illness, mainly related to cancer, but it can be applied to any life-threatening illness. After that, majority Ramendra sir will be discussing. So, like cancer or any life-threatening illness, it forms a क्या होता है कि it forms a very my talk will be both Hindi and English. My Hindi is okay, not very bad, but I'll try to manage. So any life-threatening illness or cancer for that matter, it affects not only the individual but also the family and friends surrounding it. So if we have a small fever or a cough, what happens is it is only individual. You will be there, you'll be take some antibiotics, 2-3 days, you're fine. But cancer and any life-threatening illness जो है, वो ज्यादातर एक जर्नी है. तो एक दिन में नहीं होता है वो. You need a lot of time. You need lot of support from people. And during this time, a lot of misinformation or myths can also come in. ऐसा होता है कि किसी आपके रिलेटिव ने किसी और जगह ट्रीटमेंट लिया होगा, ऐसा है, वैसा है, ऐसा नहीं है. तो वो सब हमें देखने के लिए मिलता है. तो आज few of the myths that we will see and discuss about it. वन एक मिथ है कि अगर कैंसर या कुछ एडवांस इलनेस मतलब हो सकता है कि कोई न्यूरो का इलनेस हो, न्यूरोलॉजी का हो, बहुत बड़ा एक्सीडेंट हो गया है, तो ऐसा मानना है कि कैंसर अगर किसी को आ गया है, इफ एनीवन गेट्स कैंसर दैट इज द एंड ऑफ इट. So if you ask me, probably this sentence probably was true around 40-50 years back in India, but it is not the same anymore. So what has happened is cancer or oncology is such a field, their innovations and upgradations is happening on a daily basis. If you see any newspapers or if you just type oncology news in Google, you will see that every day there is something new. So because of all this, we have improved in our, one is early detection. पहले तो कैंसर बहुत देर में डिटेक्ट होता था. अभी भी बहुत सारे देर में डिटेक्ट होता है, आई वोंट डिनाई द ट्रुथ, बट अ लॉट ऑफ पीपल वी आर डिटेक्टिंग सॉर्ट ऑफ अर्ली स्टेज 1 या स्टेज 2 में। एक इस 40 years पहले majority were stage 3 and stage 4. Now also majority is, but many of the percentage of stage 1 and stage 2 has increased. Second is treatment में बहुत ज्यादा innovations आ गए हैं, बहुत सारे minimal invasive techniques आ गए हैं. So because of that, it is just if you have cancer, it is not the end of it. So that is one thing, that main thing that we have to remember. Second myth is that this majority we have seen when we discuss the same with rural population, uh, um, mainly who are living in villages. This is what we have seen generally. I'm just telling from my experience that they believe that cancer spreads by touch, but there is no scientific data or evidence that it spreads by touch. So because of this, what happens is there is a social isolation. So if अगर उनको कैंसर हो गया है, so many of them don't even go near them. That further add-ons to the already existing dilemma of the patient. So it is completely a myth. There is no proven signs that using their utensils, touching them, hugging them, or having meals with them will spread cancer. It is not any infection that it will spread. So this one main myth, I think we also have to try to tell others, because this is a very common myth that we generally see. So wherever possible, we have to try to this, because this date creates a social divide between patients and the population. So this also we have to keep in mind. Third is patient. One more myth is that the treatment is generally worse than disease. So what has happened is, like I said, if this same sentence was probably again true 20 to 30 years back in India, but nowadays, modern techniques have evolved, which are, available in most of the places. Before, chemotherapy was considered a very, very harsh treatment. But nowadays, we have multiple options, multiple regimens of chemo that has changed, causing side effects. Definitely, there are side effects, I wouldn't say. But on all domains, be it surgery, be it radiotherapy, be it chemotherapy, or any surgery, the the outcome has improved. जो पहले होता था कि बहुत लंबा ट्रीटमेंट था, वो भी अभी शॉर्ट हुआ है, और बहुत सारे साइड इफेक्ट्स होते थे, सर्जरी भी बहुत एक्सटेंसिव होते थे, लेकिन अभी वैसा नहीं है. वी आर डूइंग मिनिमल इन्वेजिव सर्जरीज, और मॉडर्न ट्रीटमेंट भी अवेलेबल है. तो डिसीज से बदतर तो ट्रीटमेंट नहीं है, क्योंकि ट्रीटमेंट ऑप्शंस अभी बहुत बढ़ गया है. एक कॉमन मिथ, लेकिन लेस डिस्कस्ड, इज दैट इट कैन लीड टू इनफर्टिलिटी और नो फ्यूचर फैमिली इन ऑल पेशेंट्स. So in certain patients, when we give mainly chemotherapy or radiotherapy, there will be loss of fertility in few patients. That is around 5 to 10%. In remaining, there will be a temporary loss. That is temporary. During the time of chemotherapy, they will not be able to, have fertility. After that, most of them recover. So even in those patients whom we think that they may have a permanent infertility, basically it become depends on the drug that we give. सो जो भी कीमोथेरेपी का ड्रग या देते हैं उस पर डिपेंड होता है. सारे कीमोथेरेपी से इनफर्टिलिटी नहीं होता, लेकिन अगर वो भी हमें पता चलता है कि हाँ ये ड्रग हम देने वाले हैं, इससे कुछ इनफर्टिलिटी का चांसेस है, तो अभी ऑप्शन है कि स्पर्म बैंकिंग या ऊ साइड बैंकिंग कर सकते हैं. जो यंगर पॉपुलेशन में है, तो स्पर्म या ऊ बैंकिंग का फैसिलिटी अब है. वो ज्यादातर सिटीज में है, लेकिन अनदर 5-10 years में वो बहुत ऑलमोस्ट एवरी सिटीज में होगा. क्योंकि अभी क्या है कि पहले हम सिर्फ पेशेंट और डिसीज को देखते थे, लेकिन अभी कैसा है कि हम क्वालिटी ऑफ लाइफ को भी देखते हैं. मतलब कैंसर ट्रीटमेंट होने के बाद उनका क्या है. कैंसर से तो वो क्योर हो जाता है, लेकिन उनके फर्दर फ्यूचर में कैसा वो रहे और नॉर्मल जैसे जिंदगी बिताए, उसके बारे में अभी एक्सपेशली इन द पास्ट 10-15 years ये डिस्कशन चल रहा है हमारे कम्युनिटी में. तो डेफिनेटली दिस इज एन ऑप्शन दैट इज अवेलेबल. And one more normal common myth is that if I feel healthy, I don't need screening. मतलब अगर मैं हेल्दी हूँ, मैं फिट हूँ, तो मुझे कैंसर होने का चांसेस नहीं है. ऐसा क्या होता है कि जनरली कैंसर जो है स्टेज 1 स्टेज 4 में जाने के लिए थोड़ा टाइम लगता है. So whenever it is in stage 1, there are actually minimal symptoms. That is why it is very, very difficult for us to find out stage 1 cancers. So if you see worldwide, majority of cancers come in 2 and 3 stage. So stage 1 cancer, literally, they don't have any symptoms or mild symptoms. जैसे कि अगर स्टमक का है तो थोड़ा गैस्ट्राइटिस हो गया, तो या लंग का है तो कुछ खांसी हो गया एक दो बार। तो जो भी रिस्क पॉपुलेशन है उनमें हम स्क्रीनिंग करते हैं। स्क्रीनिंग मतलब जो भी कैंसर्स है उसको हम जाके ढूंढते हैं, ऐसा हो सकता है क्या, इसमें रिस्क ज्यादा है, अगर ये बहुत साल स्मोकिंग कर रहा है तो इसमें रिस्क है, हम टेस्ट करके देखते हैं। वैसे सर्विक्स कैंसर में स्क्रीनिंग है, ब्रेस्ट में है, प्रोस्टेट में है, कोलोन में है। तो एक 10 कैंसर ऐसा है कि उसमें स्क्रीनिंग है। तो अगर आप हेल्दी है तो भी जनरली स्क्रीनिंग करवाना है, क्योंकि स्क्रीनिंग जनरली पेशेंट्स में नहीं करते, हम जनरल पॉपुलेशन में करते हैं। एडवांटेज है कि जल्दी पता लगता है, भी कैंसर जल्दी पता लगता है, उसमें ट्रीटमेंट भी, रेस्पॉन्स भी बहुत अच्छा रहता है। और ये लास्ट दो मिथ है कि एक जो सिर्फ स्मोकिंग है उनको ही कैंसर आता है, या सिर्फ तंबाकू जो लेते हैं उनको ही कैंसर आता है। ऐसा नहीं है, तंबाकू वन ऑफ द लीडिंग कॉसेस है। 60 to 70% कैंसर इनसे लिंक्ड हो सकते हैं। लेकिन आपको भी, यू वुड हैव हैड योर फ्रेंड्स और रिलेटिव्स who are absolutely normal. They don't smoke, they don't eat non-veg, they don't do anything. They have got cancer. So that is mainly because of the genetics and moleculars that are developing. Tobacco is the leading cause of cancer in India, especially in India, but that is not the only cause. There are other causes also that we have to keep in mind. So coming to the last part, ऐसा है कि the myth is, like I told you, that treatment is worse than uh, the cancer itself. But because of the advances, like you can see, we have advanced. This is the nowadays the surgery done what we call keyhole surgeries. Only 3 scars. The hospital stay is very, very less. There is something called robotic surgery that has evolved. Faster recovery is happening. So there are multiple advances that has happened. I wouldn't say that throughout India, everywhere it is the same, but most of the places it is developing. Even in radiotherapy, before radiation, when we give, it used to be a very large area, as you can see in the left-hand bottom. Over the years, we have evolved. So what used to be 7 to 8 weeks, it has almost come down to 1 week, to 1 to 2 weeks in most of the cases. Some cases, we are finishing the treatment in 3 to 5 days itself. Lot of innovations and lot of medical infrastructure upgradation has happened. Similarly, in chemotherapy, there's no more, we don't generally admit the patient at all. It is done on daycare basis. As you can see in the picture, they are just sitting on a recliner taking chemo. After that, they can go home. So no more we admit the patient for 3 4 days. It is very short infusions that is given. Multiple options like targeted therapy, immunotherapy has come in, जो side effects profile को बहुत कम करता है। हाँ, एक कॉस्ट एक डेफिनेटली एक फैक्टर है, लेकिन अभी क्या है कि ये ऑप्शंस अवेलेबल है। पहले तो ये ऑप्शंस भी नहीं थे, लेकिन पास्ट 10 15 ईयर्स में बहुत सारे ऑप्शंस आ गए हैं। तो ये थोड़ा मिथ और डिस्कशन था इसके बारे में। तो आई वुड लाइक टू कंक्लूड बाय सेइंग दैट एक दो टॉपिक्स है कि हम क्या पेशेंट से डायग्नोसिस नहीं बताना चाहिए। सो जनरली ऐसा है कि जनरली इट इज बेटर दैट इफ वी टेल एनी लाइफ थ्रेटनिंग इलनेस हो या कैंसर हो, तो इट इज ऑलवेज बेटर टू डिस्कस विद द पेशेंट, टेल देम दैट यू इट इज देयर, बट वी हैव टू टेक द राइट ट्रीटमेंट। तो बोलने का एक तरीका होता है, ऐसा नहीं है कि आप सीक्रेट में, अब अगर पेशेंट को बाहर बिठा के सिर्फ आप अंदर जाके डिस्कस करेंगे, उनको और एंग्जाइटी होगा। तो इट व्हाट वी हैव सीन इज जनरली पेशेंट नोज, 1 2 हफ्ते थोड़ा टफ रहता है, लेकिन उसके बाद उसको एडजस्ट होता है। So always it is better to tell the patient because they feel they are more in control. So this part, how to cope up with things, I think Ramendra sir will ask thoroughly. But general guidelines are that it is normal to have the fear. अगर कल मुझे भी कुछ होता तो I also as a professional will feel anxious for the initial days. So more important is don't isolate the patient or the person who's having the disease. Always talk to them, make them be involved in your family friend circle. और रिलैक्सेशन टेक्निक्स तो है, योगा मेडिटेशन, ये तो हमें सबको पता है। हॉबीज कंटिन्यू रखे, ऐसा नहीं है कि ट्रीटमेंट टाइम आप सब कुछ छोड़ के सिर्फ बेड पे ही हो जाए। तो हॉबीज कंटिन्यूस रखे और स्टे कनेक्टेड। जैसे कि आपको स्मॉल ग्रुप है या उनको डिस्कशन ग्रुप्स है या आपका फ्रेंड सर्कल है, वॉकिंग ग्रुप है, उनमें इन्वॉल्व करे। तो ये पार्ट मैं ज्यादा नहीं लूंगा, क्योंकि हम फ्रॉम माय मेडिकल साइड आई कैन टेल all these things, but how practical is it to follow, we will see from Ramendra sir. So I would like to conclude that telling that healing is not only medical, it is, I would say, 50% medical, but there is a big component of emotional, social, and spiritual thing also in it. So we always focus only on the medical. It is time that we focus also on the emotional component of it. So with this, I will end my talk. Now I
Great.
will uh, request Ramendra sir also to take to have a discussion. क्या हम स्टार्ट
Uh,
करते हैं सर? आप बोलना चाहेंगे कुछ?
Ramendra ji, okay, unmute your mic. And Dr. Saab, thank you very much for erasing the myth with your truth and facts. And you are rightly given psychological tips also, which should be kept in mind. And Ramendra, over to you. And Jinda Dil Insan hai, and he has fought it very well. And he come on the line, please. Unmute your mic.
Hello.
Yeah, can we have only both of us on the screen?
Yes.
Yeah, as you will come as I mentioned, right?
Yes.
Okay. So we can start, Dr. Abhishek.
Yes. So next 20-25 minutes, we will discuss with Ramendra sir about his journey of how it has been. So, sir, I think as everyone knows, sir has been a great warrior, cancer warrior, and multiple other things. Sir, before we start, I would want to ask you, like, how did you feel when you get first diagnosed, and how did it happen? If you could brief all our viewers a bit.
So on November 30th, 2021, I and my family, my beautiful, gorgeous wife, my pretty daughter, and my handsome son, we were sitting in front of the gastroenterologist in the hospital. He had a look at the various reports and some charts and all that, and he looked at me absolutely poker faced and declared, Mr. Ramendra Kumar, you've got colon cancer, stage 2B. Then he started talking about radiation, chemotherapy, surgery, stoma bag. I didn't know what the hell a stoma bag was. And he was talking as if he's reading out from the weather report from Doordarshan. There was no expression on his face. But it hit me so hard. My family and I, we went to the canteen of the hospital, and there I simply cut loose. How come me? Poor me? Why me? I don't smoke. I have never touched alcohol. I'm slim and trim. I swim. I exercise regularly. Then how come this deadly disease has slammed into me? Just then, I saw the faces of the three people I love the most in my life simply crumple. It was as if they were seeing my death in my own eyes. And it was then that I decided that I couldn't do this to them. It was not their fault that I had been diagnosed by this deadly disease. And for me, family has always come first. At that moment, I decided that being a writer, a storyteller, a communications professional, I have to rewrite my life script. I have to rewrite my own story, live it, and love it.
Yes, sir. Uh, so during this, it is always a difficult time. It is tough to, cope up with such a huge diagnosis and a sudden diagnosis. So how did you build your strength, or what we call resilience, to face this? How did you go about building that, sir?
तो मैं थोड़ा फ्लैशबैक पे जाता हूँ. Let me talk a little bit about my childhood. I had a very tough, scarred childhood. I am a suicide survivor at the age of 15. मेरे पिताजी ने मेरी जान बचाई. At the age of 16, my parents divorced. I suffer from a clutch of very serious ailments. One is called brittle diabetes, where the sugar levels move from 45, 46 in the morning to 512 16, 17 hours later on the same day. I also, to manage this uh, condition, I'm fitted with a insulin pump 24/7. I also suffer from something called silent thyroiditis, where again the thyroid levels move like my wife's moved from one extreme to the other. In 2015, I was diagnosed with a condition vaguely called hemangioma, where what was happening was there was a polyp growing near my vocal cords and pressing them, and I was almost losing my voice. My wife was delighted that what she could achieve then in 27 years, hemangioma had managed to achieve in less than 27 days. But seriously, it was a critical condition. मुझे राउरकेला से refer किया गया Apollo Hyderabad, and a very vital surgery was performed. Luckily, the surgery was successful. That's why I'm sitting and talking to you here. I also had trysts with COVID and tuberculosis. Through all this, I managed with my what I call mantra of battling every tumor with humor. And when faced with the biggest crisis of my life, I decided I had to go back to my mantra and manage this tumor with as much humor and resilience as possible.
Yeah, that is great to know, sir, because you have been through a lot of things. A lot of people also hearing would have been through similar things. So it is good to know that you have come across this. So, sir, आपकी कैंसर जर्नी जो है, से डायग्नोसिस से अब तक, उसके बारे में आप कुछ बता सकते हैं? कैसा रहा, क्या अभी क्या?
Since I was suffering from colon cancer, the doctors decided that they'll do a surgery to remove the colon, the large intestine as it is called, bring out the small intestine and collect a fit a stoma bag to collect the fecal matter, waste matter. And after some time, they will go in for a reconnecting surgery. Now, the first major surgery took around 6 to 7 hours, but it went off like a breeze. I came out, I was shifted to the ICU for a day or two, then came to the ward and was discharged in a couple of days. And within 4 or 5 days, I was addressing a storytelling conference in Mumbai online. The doctors were very happy with my recovery. So they decided to go in for reconnecting, that which happened on 6th of April. But that particular surgery went completely haywire. I suffered 3 septic shocks. As you would know, doctor, that the probability of surviving one septic shock is only 30%. 3 times I knocked on the door of death, shook hands with Lord Yamraj, and walked back to the kingdom of the living. I had to endure totally 4 surgeries, 10 rounds of chemotherapy, 5 rounds of radiation, and I was in the ICU for 40 days. I was, as it is, slim and trim. I lost 17 kg during the entire process. After a struggle and fight for a year, I was declared cancer-free in November 2022.
सर, आपके कैंसर जर्नी में, जनरली किसी और के भी कैंसर जर्नी में, हाउ इम्पोर्टेंट इज फैमिली सपोर्ट? आपका फैमिली सपोर्ट कैसा रहा, और आप क्या बताना चाहेंगे जो भी सुन रहे हैं?
तो आपने पिक्चर दीवार जरूर देखी होगी अमिताभ बच्चन की। तो उनके पास माँ थी, तो मेरे पास भी अपनी माँ है, माधवी, माय वाइफ, अंकिता, माय डॉटर, अनिकेत, माय सन, and my pet Labrador doggy, Aryan. So this incredible Ma was there with me with rock hard support. मेरी फैमिली की आप कंडीशन सोचिए, ऑलमोस्ट एवरी डे दे हैड टू टेक मी टू द हॉस्पिटल फॉर टेस्ट, फॉर स्कैन, मेक सेंस ऑफ रिपोर्ट्स, टॉक टू द डॉक्टर्स. And they did not know whether when I was in the ICU fighting for my life, when they would visit me in the morning, they would see me alive late in the night. And when they would be allowed to visit me late in the evening, whether they would see me alive or I would have been gone the next day. So during all this, they never ever pressed the panic button. They never ever told me the kind of hell I was going through on a daily basis. My beautiful, gorgeous wife played Savitri to my Satyavan and brought me back when I was suffering from septic shock from the throes of death. from the clutches of Yamraj 3 times. And as regards my children, as you would know, most of you would know that youngsters in their late 20s and early 30s, what they do is they give their logistic support. चेक पे चेक साइन कर देंगे, यूपीआई पे पैसा ट्रांसफर कर देंगे, but they will not give their time, energy, and effort. My children, Ankita and Aniket, for 7, 8 months when I was struggling in the hospital, moving in and out of ICU and the ward, they had left their life, they had kept their life and their career on hold, and they were there continuously 24/7 with their mummy and papa. Without their support, I would not have been alive and speaking to you now.
Yes, sir. That is a really good part about being, family is importance in such life-threatening illness. So similar to family, friends also, do they play a role, sir? What is your experience on friend circle?
So, yeah, that's a very, very important question, because people feel that only offline friends help, online friends, those relationships are very transient. But I don't agree. Now, let me say that as soon as I was diagnosed, the first thing I did was I went crazy on social media. I filled Facebook and Insta with funny messages, parodies of Amitabh Bachchan's dialogues. आज तो बहुत खुश होगे तुम, तुम्हारे पास ये मैं कैंसर को एड्रेस कर रहा हूं, कैंसर आज तो बहुत खुश होगे तुम, तुम्हारे पास मेरे लिम्फ नोड्स हैं, तुम्हारे पास मेरा कोलोन है, लेकिन मेरे पास माँ है. So like that, there was a lot of fun and things like that. And doctor, you would know that after radiation, it is so energy sapping that you can barely walk. But my daughter knew, and as Bawa sir said, that I'm crazy about dancing. So 2 days after my second radiation, my daughter said, "Why don't we make a dance video?" So in 5 minutes, we changed our dresses 7 times and danced to the 1980s blockbuster hit Jawan Janeman Haseen Dilruba. My son captured that video. My daughter, who's a travel influencer with more than 500,000 followers, posted it on her Instagram, and she said, "My father is suffering from cancer, and despite that, despite radiation and chemo, he's dancing. So pray for his health, pray for this courageous man, pray for this brave heart." And the social media was completely filled with messages. There was this youngster who wrote on Instagram that his father was suffering from a disease of the artery and was confined to the wheelchair, and he was not getting up also. But after seeing the video of me and my daughter dancing, he actually made an attempt to get up and walk. Now, doctor, tell me, how heartwarming is this? Then I got, prayers were conducted, rather duas in masjid from Lahore to Lucknow to Guwahati, prayers in temples, in gurudwaras, in churches across the country and beyond. I got, people were lighting lamps. They were sending me invocations, mantras to boost my energy, my confidence. There was this writer friend of mine who's based in based in Bangalore, sorry, who called my fight with cancer. She compared it with Rafael Nadal's, abdominal injury when he suffered that very serious injury in the abdomen, continued playing Wimbledon and won that match. He said, "For me, Rafael Nadal is hero number 1 and Ramendra Kumar is hero number 2. Then there was this friend in Australia who said that, "Raman, I'm giving you a new name, Raman Sher Khan." तो मैंने बोला, भाई तुम ये क्या कर रहे हो? घर में तो मैं भीगी बिल्ली हूँ, बीवी के नाम से कांपता हूँ, और तुम मुझे रमेन शेर खान बोल रहे हो. Then this former director of Indian Institute of Mass Communications, Dr. Mrinal Chatterjee, whom many of you know, he wrote a column on my fight in 2 newspapers. There was this lady friend of mine who's also a writer. She was asked कि भाई ये जो आनंद मूवी है जिसमें राजेश खन्ना आनंद का रोल प्ले करते हैं, ऐसे जिंदगी में थोड़ी होता है, वो बहुत बड़ा चढ़ा के रोमांटिसाइज किया है. तो वो राइटर जिनका नाम डॉक्टर संतोष बकाया है, उन्होंने कहा तुम जाके रमेंद्र कुमार के फेसबुक पोस्ट देखो, इंस्टा पोस्ट देखो, ये मेरे लिए आनंद 2.0 है. Then there was this friend, my daughter's friend, who's the first lady vegan to climb Mount Everest. And when she summited Mount Everest, she thanked the God, she thanked her parents, and then prayed for my health on top of Mount Everest. अब बताइए, with this kind of support, this kind of love, this kind of affection, what could a damn disease like cancer do to Ramendra Kumar? That's why I survived. The incredible support of my family, the love, affection, and pouring of, what should I say, generous and unmitigated, what should I say, uh, devotion of my friends, many of whom are here, like Bawa sir, Prasad sir, Archana, and Shashank, Joydev, and many more. It was all this collective energy and effort which brought me back from the throes of death.
Yes, so this is a very good example how we can use how social media and online medium, which is most of the time criticized, has been used for in the right direction. Sir, now coming to the topic of coping with cancer, that it is always difficult to cope up. जब भी आपको कैंसर होता है, coping के लिए difficult है. तो आपने एक बुक भी लिखा था. Sir had given me a copy. It is called Coping with Cancer. Uh, Sir has written on it about the various coping mechanism. He happened to
Very
give
good.
me when I met him.
I was about to ask you कि ये जो पीछे हैंगिंग में है वो प्रिंट में आया कि नहीं आया. गुड, थैंक यू.
बिल्कुल
हाँ,
बिल्कुल.
तो ये आपने अमेजोन में भी है, उसमें सीरीज में बेस्ट सेलर रहा है और मैंने भी पढ़ा है जब सर ने दिया है. तो इसमें सिंपल स्ट्रेटेजीज लिखा है. सर, आप कुछ बताना चाहेंगे आपने बुक क्यों लिखा, इनका कॉन्टेक्स्ट क्या था और क्या है इस बुक में?
ये बहुत अच्छा सवाल है. एक कॉन्टेक्स्ट ये था कि लाइक यू मेंशन डॉक्टर दैट वेन एवर द वर्डिक्ट ऑफ कैंसर इज अनाउंस्ड, it is almost like a death sentence. It is not a word, it is a death sentence. Caregivers and patients feel that they are gone. The patient is gone, the caregiver feels, and the patient feels that मेरी तो जिंदगी खत्म हो गई, अब और कुछ बाकी ही नहीं रहा, मैं तो बस अब मरने ही वाला हूं. तो how can we help the patients and the caregivers to cope with their emotions and feelings? So I decided to do a research. I have taken case studies of some of the names which Bawa sir took: Monisha Koirala, Irfan Khan, Yuvraj Singh, Sonali Bendre, as well as ordinary people like me. I took their case studies, talked to the doctors, talked to the caregivers, talked to the patients, and shortlisted a few strategies which are not about hospitals, which are not about doctors, which are not about CT scan, PET scan, radiation. They are simple mechanisms which you and I can adapt, not only for a life-threatening disease like cancer, but for any crisis: death of a parent, death of a child, a serious accident, loss of a job. These simple strategies can be adapted for any major crisis by you and me.
Sir, could you share some of the same strategies, coping strategies that you
Yeah,
have?
I'll share a few of them. The first one is, you had also mentioned it briefly, to pursue a passion. So what happens is, when you pursue a passion, whether it's music, gardening, writing, singing, then the negative thoughts don't intrude your brain and mess it up. For instance, my wife's passion is to improve me. And this has been her passion for the last 36 years. And she tells it's a work in process. But there is no progress, so it's not a work in progress. I'm as big an idiot I was when she married me 37 years back. But seriously, for me, writing became my passion. When I came out of the hospital, doctor, my family got busy in their own affairs. Like, my children went back to their jobs, their careers. My wife went back to her hobby and managing the house. I had to manage the time. How was I to do it? So I created a structure where I started just sitting in front of the computer and writing for 10-15 minutes, because I did not have the energy to sit beyond that. Then that 15 minutes became half an hour, couple of hours, half a day. I wrote, 3 books were released of mine. Apart from Coping with Cancer, 3 other books, and one was a book of ghost stories. And this book has just come out this week. It's a picture book. So I created a structure, I wrote stories, then I went for online sessions, sharing stories, sharing my journey. I was invited by many platforms like Indian Cancer Society, Indian Institute of Science. And then slowly, when I got some energy, I started going out for my creative writing, for my storytelling sessions. PRCI called me, and many other forums started calling me. So this passion helped me battle that depression, because otherwise, vacuum can be a big curse. And especially in cancer, you start thinking about the tomorrow. Then the another very, very important strategy for cancer or for any crisis is to accept and normalize. Now you know, doctor, that I'm fitted with a stoma bag. So on right side, I have a stoma bag. On left side, I have an insulin pump. दाएं तरफ है स्टोमा बैग, बाएं तरफ है इंसुलिन पंप, और मेरे दिल में मेरी खूबसूरत बेगम. ऑल 3 परमानेंट अटैचमेंट्स. तो ये स्टोमा बैग के साथ में आई वॉज वेरी वेरी स्केर्ड टू गो आउट. सो आई डिड सम रिसर्च, गॉट एन ostomy bathing apron. So I tuck my stoma bag and tie that apron. So I have got 2 layers of protection. Now my son knew that I'm crazy about swimming. So he did some due diligence and he ordered a swimwear from Spain. Now I tuck my stoma bag in the swimming ostomy wear and wear my normal swimming costume, and I'm able to swim for 45 minutes to 1 hour. 3 times a week I go, right? And the doctors are so happy with it that they feel they told me that there are very, very few people in India who are having a stoma bag and are able to swim for more than 45 minutes. And they are sharing the reel which my daughter made, another reel she made on my swimming. Then I have also started going to the gym. 3 days gym, 3 days swim, और 7वें दिन बीवी की सेवा. So all 7 days I'm busy. But seriously, it is so important to normalize, because if you start treating cancer like a demon, it will keep growing more and more heads. First, it will become Ravana, then it will become a super Ravana. So it is important to accept and normalize and move on. Then, doctor, one thing which I have very, very, very strongly believe in: invest in relationships. In today's rodent race of life, we are forgetting to invest in relationships. I have a concept. You must have heard of automatic teller machine, ATM, anytime money card. I have created my own card, anytime memory card. So I invite people to create memories with their loved ones. What do you need to create memory? 2 4-letter words: love and time. We have both of them. So create memories doing simple things: dancing with your daughter in the rain, playing cricket with your son, chatting with your father about old times, helping your mother in the kitchen, playing Scrabble, playing Ludo, talking to your friends, and keep adding to your memory card. This card is unique because it cannot be broken, it cannot be stolen, it cannot be torn, it cannot be lost, and it has no value because it is priceless. And whatever the vagaries of the stock market, the value of this card will keep on increasing. And when you are down and out, encash this card and be happy. Then another thing which many sages have told: live in the present moment. Don't bother about the regrets of the past or the anxiety of the future. And it's not very difficult. अगर आप देखें किसी भी छोटे से बच्ची को आप उसको क्रेयॉन दे दीजिए, वो आप और बोलिए कि भाई तुम ताजमहल बनाओ, वो गोल गोल करके कुछ भी बनाएगी. उसको फर्क नहीं पड़ता लोग क्या कह रहे हैं, उसको फर्क नहीं पड़ता लोग क्या देख रहे हैं. उसके लिए वो ताजमहल बन चुका है. वो वर्तमान में जी रही है, ना कल की चिंता, ना कल की फिक्र. And in cancer, doctor, you would know that the only certainty is the uncertainty. Cancer is like a stealth warrior, it can always come back. But if I start thinking about the uncertainty, the fear of tomorrow, I will smudge, smash, and smother the beautiful moments which I'm sharing with all of you now. And I can't afford to do that. So I don't wait for the light at the end of the tunnel. I rush forward, grab it, make it my own, and live totally in the present moment. Not easy, but one should try. And I don't celebrate milestones in the sense that, okay, milestones are there. I try to celebrate and cherish each and every moment, because it is these moments in which I can live fully and be happy. Then the most, possibly for me, the most important strategy is, don't take yourself seriously. If you want to take anything seriously, take humor seriously. I'll give you two examples. एक डॉक्टर फ्रेंड थे मेरे राउरकेला में, तो उन्होंने मुझे फोन किया जब मैं बैंगलोर में था। उन्होंने कहा कि रमेन, तुमने सोशल मीडिया में भर दिया है, यहाँ कुछ मैसेज दे रहे हो, वहां कुछ डांस वीडियो डाल रहे हो, ये कर रहे हो, वो कर रहे हो, सब कुछ कर रहे हो। अब तुम्हें अंतर्मुखी होना चाहिए। यू हैव टू इंटरनलाइज योर एनर्जीज। So then I told him, bro, do you know, I feel for the last 6 months, half of Bangalore is staring into my rectum, and my rectum has got more eyeballs than the Natu Natu dance. How much of Antarmukhi should I get? How much of internalizing should I do? Then there was this aged relative of mine who's very serious. वो महीने में सिर्फ एक बार हंसते हैं, जिस दिन उनको तनख्वाह मिलती है। बाकी टाइम में बहुत सीरियस रहते हैं। तो उन्होंने, और मुझे पूरा यकीन है कि had he been alive at the time of Isaac Newton, he would have discovered or invented gravity without the help of the apple. He believes in gravity so much, and I believe in levity. So one day he rang up my wife Madhavi and told him, ये रमेन क्या कर रहा है? ये उल जलूल हरकतें करता है, नाचते रहता है, यहाँ मैसेज देता है, वहां पैरोडी करता है, कभी अमिताभ बच्चन का, कभी ये कभी वो इस तरह करेगा ना तो कट कट के मरेगा, टुकड़ों में बट के मरेगा। सो आई टोल्ड माई वाइफ, यू टेल हिम दैट रमेन विल नॉट अलाउ any colon cancer to put a full stop, a comma, or even a semicolon to his creativity and humor. Also tell him 2022 is the age of the comedian. Zelensky in Ukraine, Bhagwant Mann in Punjab, and Ramendra Kumar in Bangalore. Finally tell him कि रमेन को दो बड़े बड़े फिलोसफर्स पे बहुत विश्वास है, ग्रेट फिलोसफर्स हैं वो। 1975 गब्बर सिंह जिन्होंने कहा था, जो डर गया समझो मर गया, और 2022 पुष्पा जिसने कहा मैं झुकेगा नहीं। मेरे जो रिलेटिव थे उन्होंने माधवी का नंबर ब्लॉक कर दिया।
That is very inspiring, sir, whatever strategies you have told. I have also, coming to the end, I have also heard you recite a poem. एक कविता आपने last time रिसाइट किया था, जो मैं सुना था। अगर आप हमारे ऑडियंस को रिसाइट करेंगे तो उसके बाद हम कुछ क्वेश्चंस लेंगे ऑडियंस से।
थैंक यू फॉर गिविंग मी दिस अपॉर्चुनिटी। आप सबने वो सुना होगा, अमिताभ बच्चन का बहुत फेमस डायलॉग है सिलसिला मूवी में, मैं और मेरी तन्हाई अक्सर बातें करते हैं, तुम न होते तो ऐसा होता, तुम न होते तो ऐसा होता। तो मैंने ये कविता लिखी है, मैं कैंसर से बोल रहा हूँ, कैंसर के साथ मेरा ये डायलॉग चल रहा है, और कविता का शीर्षक है मैं और मेरा कैंसर। मैं और मेरा कैंसर अक्सर ये बातें करते हैं, तुम न होते तो ऐसा होता, तुम न होते तो वैसा होता। न रेडिएशन का यूं तोड़ना, न कीमो का निचोड़ना, न सर्जरी की दहशत, न स्कैन्स की परेशानी, हर ओर एक काली स्याही, एक अजब सी हैरानी। मैं और मेरा कैंसर अक्सर ये बातें करते हैं, तुम न होते तो ऐसा होता, तुम न होते तो वैसा होता। पर कैंसर, तुम न होते तो मैं हंसता नहीं इतना, हर पल को गले लगाकर मैं जीता नहीं इतना। पर कैंसर, तुम न होते तो मैं हंसता नहीं इतना, हर पल को गले लगाकर मैं जीता नहीं इतना। रिश्तों की भी शायद सही पहचान नहीं होती, मेरे दिल में सदा खिलती ये मुस्कान नहीं होती। रिश्तों की भी शायद सही पहचान नहीं होती, मेरे दिल में सदा खिलती ये मुस्कान नहीं होती। यूं हालातों से लड़ने की हिम्मत नहीं होती, अपनों को हिम्मत देने की ये ताकत नहीं होती। यूं हालातों से लड़ने की हिम्मत नहीं होती, अपनों को हिम्मत देने की ये ताकत नहीं होती। कैंसर, तुमने मुझको खुद से मिला दिया, विष में खोलकर ही सही जैसे अमृत पिला दिया। कैंसर, तुमने मुझको खुद से मिला दिया, विष में घोलकर ही सही जैसे अमृत पिला दिया। तुम न होते तो अब इतना मस्त नहीं रहता, कल की फिक्र में आज को मसल देता। तुम न होते तो अब इतना मस्त नहीं रहता, कल की फिक्र में आज को मसल देता। मैं यूं ही पड़ा रहता, जिंदगी भी पड़ी रहती। मैं यूं भी पड़ा रहता, जिंदगी भी पड़ी रहती। जिंदगी लंबी तो होती पर बड़ी नहीं रहती। जिंदगी लंबी तो होती पर बड़ी नहीं रहती। थैंक यू।
Thank you, sir, for reciting it. I now request Bawa sir, कुछ क्वेश्चंस है ऑडियंस का तो हम सर ले सकते हैं, अगर कुछ आपके
क्वेश्चन
तरफ से
तो
कुछ बोलना है।
क्वेश्चन तो बहुत हैं, और रमन को हम एक दिन में, एक घंटे में तो नहीं सुन सकते हैं। आई रिमेम्बर रिकॉल व्हेन ही कॉल्ड फ्रॉम द कैब पोस्ट ऑपरेटिव केयर रूम से इसने मैं फोन करा और वीडियो कॉल करी। दैट वाज द टाइम दैट स्पीक्स द पावर ऑफ दैट मैन। एंड देखिए आज भी इनका एनर्जी लेवल, तो दैट स्पीक्स बाय वॉल्यूम। And Raman is an engineer and MBA प्रोफेशनल। एंड मैं सोच रहा था कि किताब के बारे में क्यों नहीं बोला, कि पता नहीं ये 50वीं है या 51 है, तो इसलिए
50,
मैंने नंबर नहीं बोला।
नहीं ये किताब 50वीं है, लेकिन उसके बाद
हाँ,
और दो किताब निकली तो 52 किताबें हो
देखो,
गई।
तो इसीलिए मैंने नंबर नहीं पहले बोला। मैंने कहा चेक करके बोलूंगा, ये 52वीं 53वीं किताब है, ठीक है जी। और 32 लैंग्वेज में हो गई है, जिसके 4 मिलियन प्लस फॉलोअर्स हैं। तो लाइक दैट करके ही इज फुल ऑफ विजडम बबलिंग थिंग। बट क्वेश्चन दो चार लोगों ने मिलके एक क्वेश्चन हमने जरूर फ्रेम करा है कि he should share his personal experience. He had been sharing his personal experience, but he is a PR professional, and he has created a full Pandora box of what I say कि in social domain, and जो कैंप जिसको हम पीआर लैंग्वेज में कैंपेन्स बोलते हैं, ही हैज डेवलप्ड डिफरेंट कैंपेन्स। और मेरे को लगता है, हम लोगों को लगता है कि शायद पीआर का कुछ हेल्प करा होगा इस सर्वाइवल गेम में। तो रमन साहब, बिफोर बाकी क्वेश्चन, एवरीबॉडी रिटन लॉट एंड थिंकिंग, तो इस पर थोड़ी आप रोशनी डालिए, सो दैट एवरीबॉडी फील थ्रिल्ड ऑन दैट।
बहुत अच्छा सवाल है, और मैं बिल्कुल सहमत हूं इससे कि ये पीआर मेरे लिए एक कवच हो गया था। पीआर का जो मेरा एक्सपीरियंस है इस युद्ध में एक कवच की तरह काम किया। तो देखिए, जैसे मैंने एक तरह से एक रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी ली, समझी कि बीइंग अ पीआर मैन आई शुड ट्राई टू क्रिएट अवेयरनेस अबाउट कैंसर and also talk about the strategies, coping strategies and all. So basically the objective of, if I can call it a campaign, or my effort was to create awareness, destroy the myths which shroud cancer, some of which the doctor has already talked about. And also, like I mentioned, discuss some coping strategies, tell the people at large the coping strategies. So, for the first and foremost, I thought that what is my target audience? My target audience are the cancer patients, also their caregivers. So these strategies are not only for the patient but also for the caregivers, क्योंकि caregivers के बारे में सर कोई चिंता ही नहीं करता। अरे वो तो बोलते हैं कि भाई वो तो आपकी ड्यूटी है। अगर खासकर अगर वो वाइफ है तो बोलते हैं उसमें क्या है, आपको तो सोचना है कि आपको मौका मिला है आपके पतिदेव की सेवा करने की वो मिला है, मौका मिला है। बट आप सोचिए केयर गिवर पे क्या बीतती है। पेशेंट के साथ तो हर कोई सहानुभूति करता है, बट केयर गिवर को कोई सोचता भी नहीं है कि हाउ दे आर स्ट्रगलिंग ऑन अ डे टू डे बेसिस। यू नो तो माय टारगेट ऑडियंस वाज केयर गिवर्स, the patients and also the people at large, because these myths and half truths are shared, or they kind of keep the general public worried or about this disease like cancer or any major crisis. तो मैंने सोचा कि जो स्ट्रैटेजी मेरी होनी चाहिए, इट शुड बी ट्रेडिशनल मीडिया एज वेल एज सोशल मीडिया. अब ट्रेडिशनल मीडिया में मैंने ये किताब लिखी, and I have written a number of articles which have been published in national and international magazines on my cancer journey in simple language. Then social media became so important, whether it's Facebook or Instagram or even WhatsApp. I kept sharing my journey. I've given interviews. People have, Humans of Bombay has made a reel. There was another couple of platforms which have made reels on my journey. So that combining all the media, traditional and social media and digital media, was very, very important to reach to as many people as possible. Then, as a PR person, communication is my strength, both oral communication as well as written communication. And I wanted to use it as much as possible. And I'm a storyteller. So I wanted to शेयर माई जर्नी एज अ स्टोरी. अगर मैं खाली आपको सुनाना शुरू करूं बुलेट पॉइंट 1 2 3 4 5, तो उसका असर नहीं होगा. बट जब मैं बोलूंगा कि मैंने इसे जिया है, मैंने हर पल स्ट्रगल किया है और मैंने कुछ हद तक जीत हासिल की है, तब वो कनेक्ट करेगी. तो द आई यूज्ड माई स्टोरी टेलिंग एंड माई कम्युनिकेशन स्किल्स एज अ पीआर मैन. देन पीआर, कोई भी पीआर कैंपेन होती है, बाबा सर आप तो इतने एक्सपीरियंस आप जानते हैं, उसमें कोलैबोरेशन की जरूरत होती है. तो इंडियन कैंसर सोसाइटी कोलैबोरेटेड विद मी. उन्होंने मुझे गोद ले लिया, आप समझ सकते हैं. एंड दे टुक मी फॉर 8 to 9 कैंपेन्स, बोथ ऑनलाइन एंड ऑफलाइन. एंड दीज इवेंट्स वेर वेबिनार्स, दे वेर वॉकाथॉन्स, they were campaigns in collaboration with the newspaper, celebrating Cancer Awareness Day, Breast Cancer Day, then in educational institutions. So together it all became a very forceful, emotive, focused, and penetrative strategy, which I think managed to create a difference in many, many lives.
बहुत बढ़िया. और मेरे को लगता नहीं कोई ऐसा टूल जो आपके बैग में है आपने यूज नहीं करा इस बैटल को फाइट करने के लिए. और यही मैं चाहता हूं लोगों को कि लाइफ में जितनी भी लर्निंग है, यू कीप ऑन लर्निंग. और
Absolutely.
कब कहाँ कौन सा तीर काम आएगा आपको मालूम नहीं है. एंड ये जितने भी लाइफ की अर्निंग है वो आपने पूरी इसमें झोंक दी है, प्रोफेशनली भी हो रही है. और मैं आपको बताऊं कि रमन ने बात करी कार्ड बनाने की. ही इज ए वेरी गुड रिलेशन बिल्डर. और हमने गोवा का प्रोग्राम अटेंड करा था सर. इवनिंग में शायद लोगों के पास कुछ बात करने के लिए नहीं थी, काम करने के लिए नहीं था. जो अंताक्षरी का आपने समा बांधा था हर आदमी को आज भी याद. तो इसलिए ये स्किल्स कहाँ से कैसे यूज करने हैं, ये अंताक्षरी मास्टर है हमारे, कोई सी बात नहीं है. और आज सुबह क्या हुआ कि कहीं एक चर्चा हो रही थी और उस चर्चा में ये आ गया कि मैंने किसी को ये शेयर करा था कि आज की इसके बारे में बात करनी है. तो महामृत्युंजय मंत्र की बात हो गई कि सर ये गाना चाहिए. मैं क्या, हमारे आदमी ने तो अपना ही महामृत्युंजय मंत्र एक लिख दिया है. और महामृत्युंजय मंत्र वो क्या है, पॉजिटिविटी से फुल है. एनर्जी ट्रांसफर आपने बताया, एनर्जी ट्रांसफर कैसे होती है, यू हैव एक्सपीरियंस एनर्जी ट्रांसफर. लोगों की प्रेयर्स की कितनी इंपॉर्टेंस है, यू नो दैट. मैं आई पर्सनली फील जो इकोसिस्टम आपने बनाया है, इट इज वर्थ लर्निंग, वर्थ शेयरिंग विद अदर, सो दैट. एंड देन वो जो आपका मंत्र है वो खाली इन डिजीजों के लिए नहीं है, लाइफ की किसी भी चीज में, किसी भी इवेंचुअलिटी में वो काम आएगा, आता है. और अब मैं थोड़ी देर के लिए अपने पब्लिक मोड में, गैलरी मोड में चला जाता हूँ. और जो आदमी एक बाय वन एट ए टाइम, विद द परमिशन ऑफ डॉक्टर साहब, हम 5-7 मिनट लगा लेंगे, डॉक्टर साहब एक्स्ट्रा भी हो जाता तो पार्डन विद अस. एनीबडी हु हैज गॉट एनी क्वेश्चन, एनी वांट टू से एनीथिंग, फ्री टू अनम्यूट योरसेल्फ एंड कम ऑन माइक. उमेश मेहता जी है, मैडम
Manjari
मंजरी.
Gopte. Huh.
Yes, please.
So
We
I was
appreciate. with a lot of dedication you were listening. We thank you, and please come on mic, madam.
Yes, thank you very much, Babaji. I was diagnosed with ovarian cancer about 1 month back, and I was in America with my son because my granddaughter was born, and suddenly at the end of my visit, I was told, and I came. He flew me down. My son flew me down to India, and started treatment in Bombay at Bombay Hospital. And even I am a storyteller like Ravindra ji. I've heard his stories and very inspired by him. And I too got a lot of support from my family and friends. And as he rightly pointed out, caregivers are often ignored. And my son and my daughter, they have done a lot for me. And of course, the doctors and friends. So I think they also have to be applauded. Yes.
Right. We appreciate your emotions. We everybody joins us in prayers, and you are part of the ecosystem which Ravindra has created. And anybody you want to say anything? Uh, Sharma ji, LR Singh, if you can introduce yourself, Sharma ji,
सर मैं डॉक्टर साहब से थोड़ा सा एडवाइस लेना चाहूंगा
please.
कि मतलब लोगों में ये इम्प्रेशन है कि कैंसर का ट्रीटमेंट काफी कॉस्टली होता है तो जो रिसोर्सफुल लोग हैं वो तो मैनेज कर लेते हैं बट जो मिडिल क्लास फैमिली है पुअर क्लास फैमिली है ऐसी फैमिलीज के लिए कोई चैरिटेबल इंस्टीट्यूशंस हैं जो उनको इन टर्म्स ऑफ फैसिलिटीज इन टर्म्स ऑफ सपोर्ट उनको प्रोवाइड करवाएं
Very good question, Sharma ji. And you are carrying the cause of public relations society.
Yeah.
Over to Doctor.
Yeah, so in India there are basically 2 to 3 types of hospitals if you see. So one is a government hospital, one is a corporate hospital, and in between comes a medical college hospital or charitable hospitals. So generally cost, what we talk about, in government hospital, it is almost free, the treatment. But some downside is that all facilities may not be available in that particular, except in the regional cancer centers. Like for example, in Karnataka it is Kidwai, in Kerala it is Trivandrum, in Delhi AIMS. So every state has 1 or 2 regional cancer centers where all facilities are there. But it may be difficult for everyone to go there and come. So second is a medical college hospital or the charitable hospital where the cost is not free though, but not very highly exorbitant. Third is a corporate hospital where the cost is slightly higher. That is, for example, our different groups are there. So one thing is that now, even if you don't, even if they are financially weak, most of the cancer treatment, that is in our center, for example, our radiotherapy, chemotherapy, surgery comes under the government schemes also. So most of the institutes take it. For example, our center takes in Ayushman Bharat, in which cancer treatment is done for free. Any patient with a BPL card, it is done for free. Any patient with an APL card, above poverty line card, it is done at a subsidized cost. Overall, if you see, the cancer treatment cost has sort of come down when we compare to the availability versus this. So, and now there are more options, and the facilities, standard of care across all medical colleges or across all hospitals, it has improved. Definitely, one is the cancer cost. Second is one that sometimes we ignore is the out-of-pocket cost. That cancer radiotherapy, chemotherapy, ke to Ayushman will cover. But what really hits them is this, say, once in a week you have to travel, your stay, your food. Again, during that time, there is job loss. There is no one taking care of that. So that is a real thing that, affects cancer. Most of the insurances, if anyone has health insurance, they will cover it. But all these costs are not covered. One more thing is lack of awareness. Many of the patients who are, who have the facility, for example, who have a below poverty line card or Ayushman card, they are not even aware that it is covered. So only when they come to hospital, that time they make the cards. So awareness is there. So Ayushman Bharat, there are pros and cons. We can be debate at a later date, but definitely it has helped a lot of them. So these schemes, government schemes, be it state government or national government, it has helped a lot of them. Advantage is these schemes are applicable in most of the hospitals, which we are not aware. And in the next 5 to 10 years, I think probably there will be a pan-India level linking of all that may further help. But the cost also has come down before. For a simple example, there is a drug called imatinib that is given for CML, chronic myeloid leukemia, a type of blood cancer. So till 2014, the per month cost was almost 70 to 80,000. When it was launched, it was almost 4 lakhs. But now, because so many companies are doing it, the per month cost of 30 days tablets is only 800 rupees. So such that many options have come up now. Only not only one company is doing because of the patent expiry. A lot of companies are doing it. There's a lot of options available, but the problem is awareness. What we see is awareness is slightly less. So probably in few years, coming years, we can improve it. And a lot of societies are there. Raman sir might be knowing Indian Cancer Society is there, which is helping in a big way. So there are different avenues, but we need someone to tell them and inform them that these are available.
Right. Thank you, Dr. Sir. Very good. Very well said. Yet it is our duty on PR front also to let people know.
Yes.
Awareness campaigns is part of that, and this is subject itself is very emotional, very untouchable, and I am very happy Dr. Ravindra agreed to come and discuss on that. Rama madam, anything you would like to add or say something?
सर मैं यही कहती, सब बातें हुई, सब सपोर्ट सिस्टम वगैरह, बट डाइट के बारे में कुछ नहीं बताया गया इसमें अभी तक कि क्या खाते थे रविंद्र जी, और डॉक्टर्स क्या एडवाइस करते हैं whether patient is able to take those diet and during the course and after the treatment.
Dr.
I
Saab?
think even Raman sir can tell any diet he followed, then
Yeah.
I can add on. That will be
Yes.
better.
No, so actually, talking about the diet would not be entirely correct on my part because it depends on the cancer,
Yes.
it depends on the other comorbidities, and it also depends on the stage, where the cancer is, what stage it was. And for me, for instance, I cannot say because I also suffer from brittle diabetes. So cancer doctors say, oncologists say that you have to add weight. The diabetologist says that no, in the process of adding weight, you can't use this because your sugar levels, increase. So I would only suggest that whatever the diet is, you have to talk to your doctor and strictly follow. That is my only advice.
बिफोर डॉक्टर साहब कम इन डॉक्टर साहब इसमें भी कुछ मिथ चलते हैं मार्केट में, सुनने में आते हैं दूध नहीं लेना है, चीनी नहीं लेनी है, इस टाइप की चीजें. यू कमेंट ऑन दैट आल्सो.
हाँ. So both diet, it should, like sir said, it is very, depends on the type of cancer and what. For example, if someone is having say a throat cancer, and someone is having a say cancer of the gynec or any extremity cancer, the diet will vary. We cannot ask the throat person, every day you have to take this much amount of, protein egg, because he may not be able to take it. Whereas in general, if you see, there is no major association of cancer with food. Because of food, you won't get cancer, except in a few meat, red meat, what we call that, some association is there. But generally, any diet is ideally suitable. One main thing that we need to keep in mind is when patients have cancer, they start losing their muscle or protein. So one important thing is that you have supplement with protein. It could be, if you are non-veg, it could be egg or any protein supplements can be used temporarily. Once you're back to normal, you can continue a normal diet. One more thing, if you're vegetarian, it could be, soya, paneer, those dairy items can be used. And in a day, during treatment, what happens is you may not be able to eat, because mainly during chemotherapy, I would say, chemo or radiation therapy, that you will be not able to eat a large amount of food. So generally, we suggest that you split and eat. Instead of having 3 times a day, you have the same thing 6 times a day. Third is fluids. Maintain at least 1.5 to 2 liters of water. If some conditions are there where we restrict the fluid, if that is not there, suppose in kidney and all, we tell them to restrict the fluid. If that thing is there of that sort, you can have 1 to 2 liters of water or fluid per day. And sugar generally, if you're diabetic, yes, you have to follow the strict diet. But over sugar is also not good. It will not directly increase the cancer. There is no direct research for that. But generally, sugar in overall, if you see also, if you have less sugar, it is beneficial. And there are certain myths like, not having milk or not having, certain dairy items. That is all not true. We have not, there is no research-based evidence for it. So I would suggest that whatever you're having your diet, normally when you are healthy, you have it, you discuss that with your doctor that these were the things I was having. So your doctor will 90% to 80% will be on similar lines, but he may add on few things. That's what is important. But diet is very, very important, especially in cancers that will affect your intake. That is your head and neck, esophagus. There it is very, very important. If you're not able to have, you have to find an alternative. In certain cancers, like say extremity cancer, lower limb cancers, abdomen, your intake is not that much affected because you can still eat. So in those cancers, especially head and neck, we have to be very, very careful. We have to monitor the diet also, and we have to repeatedly discuss with the doctor.
Doctor.
Yeah, I
Manjari,
think Madam
Madam
can add
wanted
on
to say
if
something.
Madam has any
Yeah.
inputs that you're
Yeah,
following.
on a happy note now, I'm through with 3 cycles of chemo and will be operated after a month. And I was very happy to see good doctors treating me. And also there was I have little asthma, so even that was taken care of. And physiotherapy has been started for me, which is helping me again build up my muscle a little bit and preparing me for the operation. So about that, I'm very relieved. Yeah.
Yeah, one thing I would like to add is apart from the main treatment of cancer itself, there are various supportive departments that work. For example, Madam told physiotherapy is one. One more is dietitian or dietary department, what we call. One more is rehabilitation, that is your exercises, speech and swallowing, that is there. One more onco-psychology is there. You may have so much of psychological or anxiety issues that they can handle. So all these departments work hand in hand. Then there is rehabilitation. Suppose for some reason, if surgery is done, extensive surgery is done, but you are, say, a working professional, how do you get back to life? That is called occupation therapy. Around 7, 8 departments work together generally when a person has cancer. Everyone may not need everything, but generally that is the way to go about.
Right. So I think it's the time to wind up. Dr. Saab, if you can just touch upon cancer economics, the
Yeah.
term which I find, that's okay. And after that, we will come to our chairman. He's online. And right. Hmm.
Yeah, no, cancer economics basically is what questions are asked that time. What is the finances of cancer? So we have a group generally that we are doing a research on it. That what are the facilities available in India, comparing it with other countries, and what is the cost of treatment? Actually, to be honest, the cost of treatment of cancer in India is very, very, very less when we directly head-on compare. In US and UK, most of the things are covered by their insurances. But if you take the individual cost, actually in India, the cost of treatment is less, plus the accessibility is much more. In US or UK, we have a fixed system. If you want to start chemotherapy tomorrow, you cannot start. You have to go through a process. You have to wait at least for 2 to 3 weeks because we have friends over there. At least more than a month to 2 months it takes for surgery. But India, accessibility is not a big thing for majority of them. If you want to get a surgery done, you can directly walk into a specialist, discuss with them and get it done. In other places, it is not possible. So we are looking at these aspects. What is the cost of, the drugs, how it has come down. Now we have 10 brands of drug. Some drugs have only one thing, how we can improve. So it is more
Exactly.
of a policy level
Yeah, right.
thing that
Right.
cancer that we are working on.
Yes, right. Because that is the real kind of help somebody is
Yes.
looking at, and you have got a professional touch in that. That's very good. And
Yes.
now I think with the everything, time is a constraint. And Mr. Sarvesh Tiwari is the chairman of Public Relations Society Delhi. Generally, we bring him in the first because he was sitting in some place because we all manage multiple things. So now he has just sounded that he is comfortable to speak for some time. And over to Sarvesh Tiwari ji. सर।
जी सर। हेलो।
हाँ सर।
सर सबसे पहले तो मैं सर को ये कहना चाहता हूँ कि ही इज वेरी आर्टिकुलेट, रविंदर साहब को, बिकॉज सिर्फ जानकारी होना बहुत बड़ी चीज नहीं होती है, बट जानकारी को बताने की ताकत होनी बहुत बड़ी चीज होती है। और मुझे लगता है सर यू आर ब्लेस्ड विद दैट। एंड अगर आप कोई चीज बताते और समझाते हैं तो ज्यादा से ज्यादा लोगों को इम्पैक्ट हो सकता है। So I congratulate you on that,
Thank
and
you.
that is very important, sir. And I personally feel privileged that I have been part of this conversation today.
Thank you.
Second thing, sir, एक चीज जरूर मैं कहना चाहूंगा, because मैं खुद कैंसर सर्वाइवर्स के साथ कुछ काम किया हूँ और घर में भी इस बीमारी को देखा हूँ। अभी हाल ही में पूरे 1 साल का स्ट्रगल रहा। तो मुझे जो एक चीज समझ में आई सर, कि सरकार की बहुत सारी योजनाएं हैं जिसके ऊपर एक सपोर्ट सिस्टम क्रिएट हो सकता है, जहाँ पे प्राइम मिनिस्टर से लेके और स्टेट गवर्नमेंट और साथ साथ सेंट्रल गवर्नमेंट एमपी तक के रिकमेंडेशंस पे फंड रिलीज होता है कैंसर से रिलेटेड। और इसके लिए जानकारी बहुत सीमित है। तो इसके ऊपर कभी कोई सर चर्चा हो और एक कुछ अवेयरनेस हो, तो पीआरएसडी वुड बी वेरी प्रिविलेज टू एक्सपैंड दैट इंफॉर्मेशन टू द मासेस। और उस पे थोड़ा सा पीछे से अगर आपका सपोर्ट की उसके ऊपर रिसर्च में कैसे एक आदमी को हम लोग मदद पहुंचा सकते हैं, तो उसको थोड़ा हम मीडिया में इधर उधर हम लोग पुश कर सकते हैं। तो दैट इज द सेकंड थिंग आई वांटेड टू स्पीक, एंड आई
It's a
थैंक
very,
यू
very
फॉर।
important,
जी
very
सर।
important aspect, because the cost can be very, very prohibitive, and it can be a difference between care and death. And Dr. Abhishek Krishna has already mentioned about the economics of cancer. So I think there are societies like Indian Cancer Society, which are doing extremely good work, and they have a vast network. But the point is, like you mentioned, they are all very disparate. They have to come together. So I think there the government should pitch in, and we as PR professionals, if we can make a kind of a white paper with the help of doctors and members of Indian Cancer Society, and there are other organizations like Can Support based in Delhi, create some kind of a white paper which will bring everybody on board, because this is one disease where the costs are so high that many times, like just 3-4 days back, a cousin of mine passed away because he couldn't afford the treatment and he went for Ayurveda and things like that. Dr. Abhishek, would you like to add to this?
Yeah,
You having that experience.
yeah, definitely. Like I said, these are the avenues that are there, whatever I discussed. But like sir said, the cost of treatment is significantly still higher. Majority of the government schemes are there that is going to help. But like I said, awareness is not there. So they may think that it is, not available. We don't have the thing. Although they may be eligible for that. So I think probably if we can bring out a white paper or have at least a discussion. And like sir said, now the issue is that there are multiple NGOs working. There are multiple people working, but it is all in different areas. So maybe a common umbrella could help, because we may know that these are the things available here, whereas in Delhi some other NGO is working. In Northeast there are multiple NGOs working, but no one is really communicating with each other. Even if they did not be under the same umbrella, at least if we form a common communication that this is available here, why is it available there, we'll come to know. Because our doctors also, we know certain things, but there may be many things that we don't know. We only come to know when we discuss with people or professionals. So I think it is a good idea that both Sarvesh sir and Ramendra sir has put out, that forming at least a communication between multiple such groups or professionals, where at the end, whatever is beneficial, it should go on to the patient, because whatever scheme is there. So we can definitely work on it. If we
Right,
can we can probably sit and discuss once.
right, sir. Very
राइट
good.
सर, थैंक यू सो मच सर, थैंक यू।
जनरली हमारी एक प्रथा यही है कि हम एक वेबिनार से अगले वेबिनार का सब्जेक्ट पकड़ लेते हैं। रविंद्र साहब को मालूम है, पिछले वेबिनार में इन्होंने पार्टिसिपेट करा था, तो हमने इनको मैग्नेटाइज कर लिया है। डॉक्टर साहब आज के वेबिनार में एक पॉइंट ये उठ के आया है जो सर्वेश जी ने उठाया है, तो प्रॉब्ली शायद जल्दी ही एक नया वेबिनार तैयार करेंगे जिसमें इस मुद्दे को उठा के और आपकी लीडरशिप अम्ब्रेला में जैसे आज कह रहा है वैसे ही इस पर दोबारा चर्चा करके और फिर एक वाइट पेपर बनाएंगे। उसमें गवर्नमेंट के सोशल के जितने भी लोग हैं वो ज्वाइन करेंगे। दैट इज अवर पर्पस। एंड आई थिंक इट्स टाइम टू क्लोज। विपिन खरबंदा जी जनरली हमारे वाइस चेयरमैन है, or he's also held up. Everybody is fighting their own battles. He is also held up somewhere. And now, with the permission of the chairman and everybody, it is time to wrap up and put a vote of thanks on record. Thank you, Dr. Saab. We will meet again. Purpose of joining with you is expanding our horizon and network, and we are with you and you are with us. We will move together. And Raman sir, thank you very much. हम आपको पर्सनली जानते हैं, हर आदमी पर्सनली नहीं जानता है, तो इसलिए मैं चाहता था कि यू शुड नॉट फाइट योर बैटल सोलो, लेट अस बी टुगेदर, एंड you are a passion driven man. You have once again proved. I always have believed. And कई चीजें हैं, और you know that we have moved together. We will continue to move, and we all pray, wish everybody. Thank you, Manjari Madam, for joining. And we all pray that no one should get illness. If someone gets, he should get cured fast. With this note, I think we close today's session. Thank you very much. Thank you, everybody. Right,
Thank
sir?
you. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Raman sir. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Thank you, Bawa, sir.
So nice.
Thank you, Dr. Abhishek Krishna, for a wonderful presentation.
Thank you, sir.
हाँ,
Thank you.
बहुत बढ़िया।